that, showing off his skills. True. But don't forget, they got strength coaches, they got sleeping coaches. They tell you how to sleep on a plane. Get jet lag. They work Mondays and nights. Oh, great. Well,
That was great. I got you. Marquette will be first. Winners first until the last day. Oh, okay. Yes. No, that's fine. Ben, we'll give you number 1. Connor. First question is going to be him, okay? Just so you know.
Yeah.
Ralph is going to do the interview session here, and then we can set something. See if she can set something up. Okay.
Ask somebody what a pink slip is.
We'll either bring her to the press room or we'll bring Ralph. By the way, Ralph is the guy in the clear glasses. Right? Either, whatever she wants. All right, we have a couple of notes. For Xavier, 38 points for Ryan Conwell is a career high. It's also the most points scored by a Xavier player in a Big East tournament game. Cam Jones had 28. That's too short of the Big East tournament record set by Marcus Howard, who had 30. And we don't have Marquette players yet. Cam Jones and David Joplin with Coach Shaka Smart. Kevin. Let's make sure he does it on the cheerleader side. Okay. All right. Marquette is here. Coach Shaka Smart, David Joplin, and Cam Jones. Coach, whenever you're ready.
I mean, that was a high-level game. Xavier fought their tails off. You know, they really did a good job in the first half having us on our heels. I actually thought we played better offensively than the numbers, you know, the deficit indicated in the first half. We just missed a lot of layups. But our guys never stopped believing. We showed great fight, you know, even when we got down as much as 14. You know, Xavier didn't give up. They kept battling. At the end there, it got dicey. Guys did a good job of executing late game, inbounds execution, getting the ball in. They had a bunch of fouls to give, which was just kind of a strange scenario, but our guys were tough with it. And then, you know, we made enough free throws to win the game.
Well, Ben, you're going to go first.
Cam, you've hit a lot of big shots in this building. You played a lot of games here. How did that experience help you take over in the second half?
That's kind of been something we've been talking about, you know, specifically, you know, the seniors and, you know, juniors, sophomores, you know, they've been in this building before, and we've won big-time games here before, made big-time plays. So Coach has just been trying to instill the confidence in us to just go after it and, you know, play with everything we got for 40 minutes, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Right over here, Patrick.
Patrick Farad, JCTV. Coach, you know, you played this team 3 times, home and home. In this Millers game, we know 3 times playing a team can be tough. What specifically in the game adjustments you have to make this thing happen?
Well, every game's been a 2-point game. So, you know, you're talking about 2 teams that have been, you know, somewhat evenly matched. And in both games, or all 3 games, one team's gotten a big lead, and then the other team's come back. We weren't able to quite eclipse their lead at home when they had a 19-point lead. At their place, we were up big, and they came all the way back and took the lead. And then today, I thought the biggest key stretch of the game was the game was going up and down, and our guys were hanging in there, getting enough stops, and then putting the ball in the baskets. We were able to cut that lead down, and then just showed really good character down the stretch. In terms of adjustments, I thought our aggressiveness on the offensive end, particularly in the second half, the way we attacked their switching actions, the way Cam got downhill, the way Jop attacked, Chase Ross was aggressive, was big for us, and that was able to get them on their heels because when a team's switching everything, they just want to keep you in front of them. We did a good job getting in the paint and then creating some open opportunities.
We're going all the way in the back.
Coach, it's for Coach and Cam. You just spoke about the adjustments that you kind of made in game. What did you see early on for, like, just they seemed like they was trying to keep Cam out of the paint, like you just said, switching everything. Just in terms of the mentality to be aggressive but still kind of pace yourself, what's the balance in that? I mean, you didn't have any turnovers in addition to, you know, what you did offensively. So what did you see for yourself and then, you know, kind of taking the strides moving forward?
You know, like he just said, it's the 3rd time everybody's played each other in this tournament. So everybody kind of knows, you know, everybody's base and what they do and how everybody guards. It's just about doing what you do offensively and making the right reads. Trusting my teammates to be in the right spots, which they are 99.99% of the time. So, you know, that's all it is. And, you know, I know Job ready to shoot at all times, so it's important, it's imperative that I know where he is, you know, every second that he's on the floor and I have the ball. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We're going back to Ben.
Jop, what'd you guys find in the second half that allowed you guys just to start hitting shots that weren't falling in the first half?
Just toughness. Called each other out. We knew we had to make a miss, especially being in a deficit, but we knew we could do it the whole time. So we just trusted each other and went after it.
Going to Matt over here. Matt.
Sure, for Shaka. You know, guys down 14 in the second half, this point of the season, this kind of stage against a team that's, you know, needs to get a win maybe to get into the tournament. What about the alchemy of this group that you knew was there really manifested itself in the second half to pull this out, Shaka?
Well, one of our biggest advantages is the continuity that we have and how much these guys truly rely on each other and have relied on each other. You know, last night we watched clips from our last 6 games in this building in this tournament, and we won 5 out of those 6 games, but none of them were easy. You know, a lot of them were a lot like today, where we had to, you know, erase a deficit, come back and hold on late in the game. And so I think that's really valuable experience, but most importantly, it's valuable experience together. So it's not like guys have done that in a vacuum. These two have done it together with Stevie, with Bengal, with Chase. And the guys showed incredible character today. You know, you get down 14, shots aren't falling. It's easy to feel like, well, it's not our day. Ryan Conwell's having, you know, a heck of an individual scoring day. But we kept fighting, made a couple adjustments at the very end, and obviously got just enough stops.
Right here in front.
Following up on that, Coach, third time's a charm for tomorrow when you play St. John's. Is there anything that you learned today in this game that will help you tomorrow?
Well, we just played them, obviously, you know, less than a week ago at our place. That also was a high-level game. You know, lasted 45 minutes. There's a lot of things we take from that game that we want to do better. I thought that game actually helped us today be better down the stretch, making free throws specifically. But, you know, St. John's got a heck of a team. They won the league for a reason. I believe that they set a record or tied UConn's record for the most regular season wins in Big East history. So they got a heck of a team. They're rolling. They're playing at a high level. We'll watch the tape from last Saturday, and we'll look at things that are controllable on our end that we can do better. I'm sure they'll do the same.
Adam?
Yeah. Hey, guys, for the players, just to follow up on that St. John's question, what do you think that kind of the biggest challenges St. John's presents? And obviously they're playing on their home court. They're 10-0 here this year. Does the crowd and the atmosphere factor into it at all for you guys, or you're kind of tuning that out?
When we play, it's about, you know, the guys that, you know, wear this across their chest. As far as what they present, very athletic team, very physical team. Got a lot of long, tall players. You know, and they're older too. It's pretty hard to deal with at this level. But you know, it is what it is, and we're gonna go after for 40 minutes.
All right, we got 2 more, Ben.
Shaka, what do you like about those football-style inbounds plays that you run at the end of games?
Well, they're typically pretty good for getting guys open because you have the defender in front of you, so you can cut and then come back. You know, Dalen Swain was on Cam. He's a heck of an athlete and got great length. So there was one where they made us call timeout because we weren't able to get open. I thought on the other ones, our guys did a great job breaking to the ball. Stevie made a second effort on the one before he got fouled. That was huge for us. So you break to get open, and if you're denied, you can't stand. You got to make another effort, and he did that. And Stevie Mitchell, you know, as good as these two were, and it's, you know, you don't want to quantify because they were all great, but Stevie Mitchell won us this game, man. His spirit and his energy. You know, D-Way said it a couple weeks ago when he was on campus. You know, he's special. But, you know, we lost on our senior day. It's so enjoyable to watch these 3 guys, these 2 and Stevie, come into this environment. And I told the guys before senior day, I said, you know, for the good teams, it's not senior day, it's senior month. And they approach today like that.
This has to be the last one, right?
You know, you guys played an instant classic 5 days ago against St. John's. What are the benefits, what are the drawbacks from playing the same team in such a small period of time?
I mean, we could overanalyze it or, you know, do a psychology class just on playing someone with a quick turnaround. The reality is, for us, you know, I'm sure they would probably say their own version of this, it's about being the best us for 40 minutes. And it's about, again, watching that tape and learning what are things we can do better. When you play great teams, they present challenges. But as I tell these guys, we present challenges too. And, you know, St. John's has got a terrific coach, terrific roster. Luis was player of the year for a reason. I think Kadari Richmond could have easily been player of the year as well. Zuby was first team. And then there are other guys who are playing at a high level right now too. Great. Those are the type of teams that you get to play against when you earn these opportunities in March. And, the guys that are sitting next to me plus the other guys in our locker room, when we're connected and when we're truly focused on the present moment, it gives us a really good chance against, regardless of who the opponent is.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Ask him. All right. Xavier's on their way. Richard? Want first one? You want first question here? Okay. Xavier is here. Coach Sean Miller, Ryan Conwell.
You retiring? Is it?
From here, yeah.
Wow. Congrats. What a run.
Thanks. Yes, sir. I gave him both. You already did? Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Obviously, a heck of a basketball game. Credit Marquette. I thought that the way they came out after halftime, the pace they played at, their fight, their will, especially being down 10 at the half, was really impressive. And for whatever reason on our end, the first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half, we had a hard time getting our defense set. And as we were getting our defense set and not doing it well, we injected a ton of confidence into their team because they just, even some of the threes they missed, they created good three-point shots. And obviously, look, March Madness, players and guys have to make shots. Credit Marquette. I thought the timely plays in the game favored them. But it was that segment, first 10 minutes of the second half, really set a bad tone for our defense. I mean, I look at our offense in this game and understand how good of a defensive team Marquette is. We were 30 for 57 from the field, 53%. We were 11 for 23 from three. We were 16 of 19 from the line, and we had 10 turnovers. We scored 87 points. It's hard to lose in March with the numbers that I just gave you. The guy to my right, I think he's one of America's best guards. He proved it today. Ryan's done nothing but get better and better and better. Coming into today's game, he had scored 20 or more points 4 consecutive games, and he carried us. He had 38. Some of those team stats I just read were a function of him just rising to another level. But our defense, man, a big reason we finished as strong as we did was our defense. And in the second half in particular, Marquette broke us down, but we have to be better, had to be better to win that game. It's heartbreaking when you lose a game 89-87. So I credit Marquette, and very, very proud of our team, our players, incredibly proud of Ryan. He didn't play as well in the first 2 matchups against Marquette. I don't know if anybody can play better in a conference tournament game than he just played here today.
Shelby, right in the middle.
Yeah, Ryan, speaking of that, you were 1 for 13 from 3 against Marquette the first 2 games, and tonight obviously setting a Xavier Big East tournament record. So what really worked for you today? What did you attack differently compared to the first two matchups?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give all glory to God. He's the reason why I'm here today. But I would say just really, just leaning on my coaches and my teammates and what they were telling me, through film and, what they were trying to coach me from the first two games, and me just trusting in my work and, listening to them and allowing that to translate to this game. So I think I just came in, with the right headspace and just trying to get the job done. So
Right here in the middle.
Hey, Sean, Andy Lipton. I know you guys scored a lot of points, but in that second half, Marquette's defense really seemed to toughen up during that stretch. Zach didn't seem to get the ball down low most of the game. Was that by design, or was that a function of Marquette's defense?
Yeah, no, they're good. They were double teaming and trapping him, so a couple of opportunities that he got, he became a passer. But you look at it, Zach. At 15, obviously, what Zach will tell you is he's disappointed. He missed the dunk. Still, it's not like he had 8. I mean, he's 15, 17 points, 7 rebounds. That's pretty much what Zach averages, and he played his game. He really did. Look, Marquette in the stretch you're referring to. Look, again, we were 30 for 57 from the field, and we had only 10 turnovers. We scored 87 points. But they hit a stretch where they turned us over. And we had 3 turnovers at the half, something we talked a lot about at halftime. We did have 7 in the second half. But of those 7 turnovers, if you look at them closely, they turned those turnovers into points. And some of it was to their credit. Some of it is on our end. We have to be responsible, can't cough the ball up. But when you play Marquette, you have to do 2 things. You have to keep them off the offensive glass, and you have to be able to protect the ball. And if you would have told me that they'd get 4 second shots and we'd have 10 turnovers for the game, I would have taken that. What did us in is they were 14 for 33 from the three-point line, and in the second half they were 9 for 18. Their three-point shooting, especially in that period of time that I was referring to, first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half, it really did us in. And a lot of that was us.
All the way in the back, Mike.
Coach, I know you're just a couple minutes after a real tough loss here, but just big picture-wise, you guys, a lot of projections had you guys right on the bubble for the NCAA tournament coming into this tournament. Just how are you feeling going into Selection Sunday? I know you guys had won 7 straight coming into this. What do you feel like your credentials are going into for a bid?
Look, I'm only going to talk about our team. I appreciate you asking the question. We desperately want to be a part of the tournament. We've won 12 of our last 16, 7 in a row coming into today's game. Obviously, we played against an excellent team on a neutral court. I think if anybody watches today's game, I think you had 2 teams that are NCAA tournament caliber playing out there earlier. The 13 Big East wins, the 21 overall wins. And then, what I really try to look at is just our level of play. We're one of America's best three-point shooting teams. We're one of America's best free throw shooting teams. Defensively, we finished 3rd in the Big East in terms of defensive efficiency. The quality of play that we've had for a long period of time, to me, that's what we stand on. Look, I know there's a lot of teams that are worthy, and this conference, this team, certain people say good things about you. Other people don't say good things about you. It makes you mad. You want to reach in the TV, but look, we're gonna rely on the expertise of the committee and the work we've put in. We're hopeful that we can be a part of the tournament. I know that over the last 6 to 8 weeks, there aren't too many teams in the country that have played at a higher level than our group. And today, we played at a very high level. Our defense left us at a really inopportune period of time, and Marquette made us pay.
Right here in front.
So, Coach, with the idea of being in the tournament, coming up in the NCAA tournament, what do you think with a game with 8 lead changes, as tight as you played this team 3 games, how does this prepare you for getting into the tournament in your next game?
Look, playing in the Big East tournament is the NCAA tournament. It feels the same. I mean, the crowd, the pageantry. If you lose, it's over. I mean, he's not happy. I'm not happy. You play your heart and soul. Our guys in our locker room are devastated. First and foremost, they're devastated because we wanted to play on that coveted Friday night in the Garden against St. John's when there's only 4 teams left. You know, we wanted to be that team, and Marquette's that team now. So, yeah, it's tough, but you learn from circumstances. You know, again, I want to tip my hat to Ryan. He just came off a game where, I mean, he had 38. And if you can get 38 on Marquette in Madison Square Garden with the stakes this high, you know, I think, again, says a lot about who he is as a player. And I believe this. I think he's one of college basketball's best guards.
Back in the middle.
Ryan, for you, this is a situation that's extremely similar to one that you personally were in last year. I guess, what did you learn from so much uncertainty heading into Selection Sunday, and how much of that can you help the other guys on this team?
Really just that the little things matter. When it comes down to it, the close games, just pay attention to the little things like offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, taking care of the ball. You know, just the little things, you know. I think that's what I've learned from last year.
Final question.
Coach, 2 things that jump out here are the points off of turnovers, 18-2, and also you had the lead in this game for 31 minutes. They only had it for 9. And, you know, you mentioned the relentless pressure. And I was sitting here when you played St. John's, and you said the exact same words, that their relentless pressure broke you down. Is that why you lost this game?
You know, we're in the Garden. I'm at the same podium. We had the same locker room. The 2 games you're referring to are almost identical, really. You know, playing St. John's and playing Marquette. And I don't think in any way that's a negative towards the team that I'm coaching or us. You know, part of what makes Marquette the team that they are is we only had 10 turnovers, and they turned those 10 turnovers into 18 points. When you play St. John's and you play Marquette, they have some common threads. It's their relentless pressure, and you have to be able to play through it and handle it. And you also have to be able to do it for 40 minutes. You know, I think there's a lot of teams and ball handlers and just offenses that can be with it for a while, but you got to be able to stay with it. One thing that I'm really proud of at our group, when the game really turned, maybe in and around the 5-8 minute mark, when they really did take the lead, we fought back and took the lead again. You know, like we did not go away. It's just if you look at the timely plays, a couple threes that they had, they knocked down. We had the ball a couple times, and we weren't able to, in fact, make the positive play that they made. So it was very similar in terms of how that game went to this one. But I think in both games, we could have won the game 2 or 3 times over.
Xavier, thank you. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. See you next week.
You got it.
Please. Thank you.
And congratulations.
Hey, thanks. We're still going to do some things, but...
Good.